Just a heads up, this video is about the B word, and although it's not normally in my vocabulary, for simplicity's sake, I do vocalize the word here. I just want to let you all know because I don't normally curse in my videos, but you will hear that word here. Thanks and enjoy the video. Recently, the very popular pop singer Lizzo released a song branded as an empowering anthem about women sharing their love and power with each other. Almost immediately, she received wide criticism on Twitter. In the present era, this is a routine to which we've all grown accustomed. Lizzo wasn't criticized for the infantilizing title, Girls, nor for referring to adult women as girls throughout the song. And Lizzo was not criticized for musically referencing the wildly sexist Beastie Boys song, Girls, which includes the lyrics, girls to do the dishes, girls to clean up my room, girls to do the laundry, girls and in the bathroom. Instead, the Twitter storm was over a specific term that Lizzo used in the song, which is a term apparently offensive to individuals with cerebral palsy and other disorders. And I don't have a problem with that. Some people complain about cancel culture being over the top, but I don't think this is an example of that. If marginalized people want to express that a term is harmful to them, they have every right to do so, and we should do our best to accommodate them. And Lizzo agrees with that sentiment, as she expressed in a message posted to her Instagram. Along with the message, she re-released the song with the offending word edited out. And she was widely praised in the press and by fans for addressing this issue proactively. Lizzo wrote, "It's been brought to my attention that there is a harmful word in my new song, Girls. Let me make one thing clear. I never want to promote derogatory language." I never want to promote derogatory language. And yet, the very first word of the song is bitches. In fact, of the first 6 words of the song, half are bitch or bitches. How is the casual use of this word not promoting derogatory language? What is bitch if not a derogatory slur that minimizes and dehumanizes women? Before we dig a little deeper, I want to share the results of a poll on my channel that almost 500 of you voted in, and thank you for your votes. According to you all, yes, indeed, bitch is derogatory and not empowering. This word, which today is one of the most frequently used curse words by both men and women, is a slur aimed almost exclusively at women. It's a word that has been used to denigrate women since the 15th century. Even Shakespeare used the word to refer to women. Bitch means dog, literally an animal that lacks humanity, a subhuman creature. For many centuries, bitch described a woman with a lower social status than even a prostitute. A bitch was a woman that a man could rape or use for sex and then throw away in the gutter. A prostitute was at least compensated. A bitch was an object and nothing more, certainly not a human being whose feelings, needs, or rights were of any consideration. Even this act of classifying or castifying different levels of women in itself is dehumanizing. Now, of course, language evolves, but the history of this term is extreme and it must be considered. It's not a neutral term. It's a word that's been integral in the systematic subjugation of women for all of its 600-year history. Patriarchal language in tandem with male violence has been and still is used to cause women to submit to men. Over the past century, other uses of the word bitch have evolved. Let's take a second to talk about them. Bitch is not only used to describe women, but also to describe men who are seen as weak, effeminate, or failing at masculinity. In prison, male rape victims are described as bitches. When this slur is aimed at men, it's the ultimate insult because no lower status can exist for a man than to be associated with womanhood. It's the ultimate degradation and loss of status for a man. Bitch is used to describe life's travails. This situation is a bitch, meaning it's problematic, it's annoying, it's something I don't want to deal with. But when we use it that way, we are linking our problems with the term that is associated with women. Bitch is also used as a synonym for complain. Specifically, bitching is complaining in a way that's annoying and trivial. In other words, nagging. And it's used to shrug off or ignore women's legitimate complaints, which reinforces the idea that women should just shut up and take what they're given. The word Karen has come into vogue recently for the same purpose. Finally, bitch is also used to shame many assertive women who have acquired power. Women who achieve political power or career status are often polarizing figures and portrayed as shrewish, cold, calculating, manipulative, power-hungry, and bitchy. Much like the male bitch is failing at masculinity, the female bitch in power is failing to perform her role of acquiescent, demure femininity. Women sometimes refer to themselves as boss bitches, showing that even women associate the acquisition of power with being a bitch. The phrase boss bitch has been picked up by retailers and commodified, further encouraging women to think of themselves in this manner. But this is not a cute, fun, funny, or cheerful term, and using it is not cheeky nor empowering. It's a term rooted in misogyny, and to use it is to be complicit in a system in which women the world over are oppressed. Women who use it in a friendly way, for example, hey bitch, where my bitch is at, etc., might feel good in doing so. But what feels good is not necessarily good for you or other women. But why does something that's bad for you feel good? Perhaps it's because women are conditioned to like things that reinforce patriarchy. And perhaps by using this word, a woman temporarily feels like she's getting a taste of male power. But really, she's just emulating toxic male dominance rather than actually challenging male power or sexism in general, or acquiring any real power herself. Is it possible to reclaim this slur? I don't think so. First of all, the word doesn't have any value worth reclaiming. But even if it did, reclaiming it would imply that there is some incentive for men to stop using this word to shame and denigrate women, and there isn't any. They will continue to use this word to put women in their place. And if anything, women putting this word out there over and over and over again and normalizing it and saying that they aren't offended by it reinforces the idea that this is an acceptable way to refer to women. Using the word bitch does not pose a threat to patriarchy, and it is not a feminist action. As Audre Lorde taught us, the master's tools will never dismantle the master's house. They may allow us temporarily to beat him at his own game, but they will never enable us to bring about genuine change. When a woman says in false reclamation, "I'm a bitch, my friends and I are bitches," it allows a man to return in denigration, "Yeah, you are bitches." In her Instagram apology, Lizzo also wrote, "As an influential artist, I'm dedicated to being part of the change I've been waiting to see in the world." Why doesn't Lizzo or the many women who use this word see the pervasive misogyny in our society as something that urgently needs to be changed? And why was there no Twitter storm over Lizzo calling women bitches? Lizzo sees herself as a change agent, and yet instead of standing up against misogynistic language, which could have a positive impact on women, she has chosen to reinforce the acceptability of using dehumanizing slurs to refer to women. And she has done so more than likely because she and many women are blind to the pervasive misogyny in our society, either willfully because acknowledging it is painful or through conditioning. In a paper titled Reclaiming Critical Analysis, The Social Harms of Bitch, Sherryl Kleinman writes, "Bitch is everywhere, so people have become desensitized to its harms, some even enjoying its use. These words unintentionally hurt women as a group. That most people aren't bothered by them is disturbing, indicating that sexism is the water we swim in and we are the fish who cannot see it. How can people be motivated to make change if nothing seems to be the matter? If women aren't even deserving of our place in humanity in language, why should we expect to be treated as human beings otherwise? To address misogyny, to remedy sexism, we have to first be able to see the water in which we swim. We have to recognize it and stop being blind to it. And when we begin to see it, we can see how we contribute to it and stop doing those things. We can stop being complicit in it and furthering it ourselves. There is no reason a woman needs to use language that reinforces the idea that women are subhuman objects, and therefore harms women as a class. Lizzo was so proactive in addressing her use of an ableist slur and remedying that, and that's great. And she was so firm in her commitment to not use derogatory language, and that's also great. But she doesn't recognize bitch or hoe, which also appears in the song, as derogatory language, and that's not great. We need to see the problem before we can do something about it. More than ever, we have to stand up for our rights, and that begins with standing up for our humanity. At this moment in time, women's rights are on a severe downslide, and no one is going to stand up for us if we don't stand up for ourselves. In the US, we have lost the protection of Roe v. Wade. We are fighting to keep our sports and spaces free of males, and we are fighting against the idea that a woman is a costume that a man can wear, and that the word woman has no concrete definition. But woman does have a definition. A woman is an adult human female, an individual deserving of rights, respect, dignity, personhood, humanity, and power. Not a dog, and not a bitch. I trust that Lizzo is a creative person who can easily come up with alternative terms that would actually uplift women. Sister, heroine, goddess, or something else. Why choose a term that has been used by men to put women down for 6 centuries when there are actually empowering terms? Lizzo is committed to, in her own words, never promoting derogatory language. So maybe she should stop breathing life into this most derogatory word. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye.